Lucy.
Do you want to make any wig just out of the box look so real? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the very steps that I use when I take a wig directly out of the box and plop it on my head. If I notice that there's something off with it, these are the steps that I do to make sure my wig looks so real and is so undetectable when I leave my house. If you want to go from this to this, then keep on watching. The only catch is that you need lace to work on. If your wig does not have lace, unfortunately, this method will not work for you. Let's hop into the video. All right, guys, so this is the wig I'm gonna be working on and showing you how to make more realistic today. It's human hair, it's really soft, it's amazing. The only things wrong with it are the following that I'm gonna explain to you. So first off, we have this hairline right here where you can't really see a lot of scalp. It's got a monofilament top, but the part is really thin, first of all. So like, it's just so dense, full of hair. This is like hair that I would never grow. And so the point is to make it look like it's growing out of my head and to create more of a scalp look from the front all the way to the back. And then I also have to thin out this hairline because just look how dense it is. There's so much hair that it looks unrealistic. If I was to ever put my hair up and away off my face, it's just so dense. I feel like anyone could know that it's a wig. So if the goal is to make your wig look more realistic, there are a number of things on this wig that we need to make look real. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our mannequin head, because I find it easier to work on a mannequin head than our own head, and we're gonna go in and pluck some hairs away. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So once we have our wig hair on our mannequin head, we want to go ahead and take our tweezers. Make sure you have a fine tooth comb and also make sure you have any kind of clip to clip hair away. So this is essentially where I would like the hair to be parted, but if you wanted to change the part up, then you just drag your fine tooth comb along and change it like that and secure it down with a clip like so. But I have already created that part, so I'm just going to keep it where it is right now. Now just look at how unrealistic that looks. It's not like absolutely terrible, but it's just so dense with hair. So what we need to do is go in and take some hair out. Now, the way to do this, please follow this exact, because you can brutally mess up your wig if you do not do this. You can end up plucking way too much. So go and take your fine tooth comb. And what I want you to do is go ever so slightly beyond that line that you've created and see how little bit of hair that is. Take it up and push it in the other direction from your line and clip it away. And now we want to go in with our tweezers and we're going to be plucking those hairs. Start at the top, start in the middle, start at the back, wherever you want to go, but pick one side and then go to the other. Go by the root and be careful not to grab the lace. Do not grab the lace because it can easily tear. You just want to make sure you're grabbing the hair, but do it by the root and try and hold the lace down with your other hand so that you're not going to end up tearing the lace. The other thing is once you grab it from the place you started, skip just a tweezer with the part and leave that hair and then go to the next and grab a chunk and pull it out. Again, skip the width of the tweezer, grab a chunk, pull it out. Does that make sense? Skip, grab a chunk, pull it out, skip, grab a chunk, pull it out. Do that all the way to the back of the hairline. And by doing this, what you're creating is more of a realistic scalp. And the reason why we've separated it away and we're not doing it right at the start of the hairline is because we want to make that effect of it like coming and going, like kind of jaggedy. We don't want it to be straight across, because what wig companies do that make the wig look unrealistic, they just sometimes don't take the time to do this, is make the hairline kind of like this, because that's how our hair actually grows, is like this. It's not straight across, right? So that's what we need to create ourselves. So make sure you do that all the way back as far as you need that part to go, as long as you have lace there. Once we've completed that, drag your hand along the wig and pull out that hair. Look at all of that that's come out, okay? Drop it on the floor, drop it in the garbage, vacuum it up later. Don't deal with it now, just continue on with this process with me. Okay, so now that we've done that, I usually do one more section going the same way. Drag your fine tooth comb through it, just taking a little bit of hair up and away, and bringing it back and then pinning it. This is actually really easy, guys, like once you get the hang of it, and you'll actually get a lot quicker too. I'm doing it pretty slow so that I can show you, but really I can do this really fast now just because I have the practice. And once you see kind of the pattern that we're creating here, it gets a lot easier to go back and be like, oh, I need to pull more hair from, you know, this section. It's looking a little full here. And then what I do too is I usually focus on the line first, the head scalp line, and then I'll go and fix the front. So don't really worry about the front too much right now. Just focus on plucking the hair. Break your hand through, pull the hair out. This is all the hair we've plucked away, and I'm just gonna toss it on the floor and vacuum it up later. Now we're gonna move to the other side. So go back to your part, and we're gonna do the exact same thing, but on the other side. So take just little bits of hair, move it over to the other side, and then pin it away. And the best part about it being on a mannequin head is that you can turn it, you can shift it to make it easier for you to view and pluck out hairs. Drag it all the way to the back. Make sure you're plucking hairs at the back too, because we usually have a gap in our hair at the back where you can see head. So as long as you have lace, you can pluck along the whole lace line. Okay, grab the hair, take it out. Okay, now that we did that, let's go back to our original part, and now we're gonna look at the front hairline, because again, that was really thick too, and we really need to fix it. Take out the front pieces of hair, because I always like to leave a little bit of shorter hair pieces at the front, because that's really realistic to how my own hair would be. And that's what I like to create, realism. I don't think anybody's hair just grows straight out of the front hairline, just absolutely perfect and super long and have absolutely no baby hairs. I've never seen that. Even on someone on like a really thick head of hair, they always have shorter pieces at the front. Hairs that either are just growing in, or maybe hairs have broken in the past. It's not like we're trying to create broken hair. We just need to make it more realistic. Just pluck where you think it needs it. Get those hairs gone. Follow the lace line and go all the way down. My lace ends about here on both sides, so I don't have too far that I can work with. If you have further, then definitely pluck further. There we go. So take that hair out, throw it in the garbage. Now we're gonna go in with our eyeshadow palette, and we're going to take the lightest color and we're going to paint it on our scalp line. Take your brush and we're gonna dab it in just like this, and we're going to follow the line. I like to start at the front. Obviously, the whole point of this is not to get it on the hair, but you will, like bits of powder will get on the hair, and it's really not a big deal. It's just gonna wipe off because it is powder. And this is eyeshadow. You can also use concealer, you can use foundation. Just try and make it match your own color. So if you have darker skin tone, then use a darker color, obviously, and if you have a light skin tone, then use a lighter shadow or your own concealer that you use on your face or foundation. If you're not sure and you don't have your exact color, I always recommend going with a slightly lighter color. I think that always works the best. So I do it along this line, and then again I take the fine-tooth comb and I go over a teeny tiny section, kind of like what we just did with the plucking, and I also drag it along this line too. And it's also going to cover all these dark knots. The downside with this human hair wig is it has a ton of dark knots at the front and throughout this line here. And what the eyeshadow does, or concealer does, is it completely covers that up. Dark knots is something that I absolutely hate on wigs, but a lot of them do have them. And I will still wear it, obviously, but I like to cover them up as best I can because I just think it looks really realistic once you do this method. If you want to go the extra mile, you can definitely keep going for the whole length of your lace wig all the way down and drawing out those sections and then drawing in with the eyeshadow, but I just can't be bothered with that. I think the part line is more than enough and it ends up looking really good and really natural. This next step I'm going to show you is just as important as everything else, so make sure you don't skip it. I bought this silicone package from Amazon and it comes with a lot, so you can actually do this to a lot of your wigs, but essentially all we're going to do here is take your wig, flip it over and put it back on your mannequin head. and secure it like this, because we're just going to quickly measure with our silicone strip to make sure we have the right length. I place it about an inch, maybe an inch and a half from the start of the hairline. About right here on this wig is where I'm gonna put it. And then I'm gonna run it along that part that we created, that we filled in with eyeshadow. And I'm just cutting it off right like this. And then what I'm gonna do, instead of leaving this straight across, I'm gonna come in and just create a bit of a curve. There's no real rhyme or reason why I do this, but I find that it just makes it look more realistic when it's sitting on my wig. So that's why I like to create a bit of a curve. It does not have to be perfect. Look, I even made it a little crooked, but it doesn't matter. No one's going to see it. Take that silicone strip off of the backing, and we're just gonna place it down where it needs to go. Try not to touch the sticky side too much because it will wear out. Just place it there and run it all the way back. So now I'm going to take this wig off the mannequin head and I'm going to give it a curl, give it a wave, and I'm going to come back to you guys and show you the finished product and show you exactly what we created and what it ended up looking like in the end. I am back and this wig is looking phenomenal. Look at this part line, everybody. This is what I'm just raving about. Once you create this part line, anyone looking at you just thinks it's your own hair growing out of your head. Another thing we did, because we plucked some of those hairs at the front of the hairline, guys, look, it's so much thinner. Now we have like these little pieces. They're dainty, they're delicate, and waving the wig just really shows it off, like how we've thinned out this front. It just looks more realistic because we don't have the thick bands of hair, you know, growing from here and coming all the way down. So I just think it looks so much better. I'm gonna give you a little twirl around. And the thing is too, like once you do this, if you look at it and you're like, hey, there's still some parts that are still a little thick for my liking, I want it to be thinned out even more in a certain area, go back and do it again. Take more, take less out. It's totally up to you, but I really like what we achieved here today, and I'm really glad I got to share this with all of you. Here's the up close in 4K. If you guys haven't yet, toggle this video to 4K because you can make that adjustment, and then you'll be able to see every single detail. And I think it just looks so much better having colored this in with eyeshadow. Thank you so much for tuning in today. All of the products I use will be down in the description if you need to go find some for yourself. And if you learned something from this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you like wiggy content, because I talk about all things wigs on this channel and I would love to have you back here. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next time.